Does anyone remember this Craigslist video? This guy tried to sell a system sporting an i7-8700K and a 1080 Ti for $6,000. Yeah, he was being serious. In fact, he was being more than that. He was being condescending. He was being an asshole, in my opinion. And now, yet again, he's trying to cover up his mess by filing repeated privacy complaints on our videos. This is before and after he threatened to sue us. So here's our response. $6,000 cash firm. No less. No, I will not part out, sell separate. I will not take payments, EBT, PayPal, whatever you have. Cash money, 6K, no less. Just in case you didn't get it the first time. Don't give me any BS of, oh, I can build this and that for this. Build it yourself. I do not need to sell. Right, you just have it listed on Craigslist. Just here to entertain offers. If you don't have the cash, go to Wally World and buy yourself a pre-built system for $300 and have it break in 14 months and cry. This was written by the owner of Grace Computers, a small company based out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. And yes, I'm perfectly within my right to reveal the business behind this Craigslist ad. It was not posted by a private seller like some of you thought. Businesses are public by default. They must report income to the IRS. They must register in the state in which they operate, and with that, a corporate address and phone number. I had to do the same thing here in Florida. So about a week after this video aired back in April of 2018, I received a series of aggressive emails and messages on Facebook from the store's owner demanding that I remove the intellectual property on display in his Craigslist ad, and thus in my video. Now at this point you might be thinking, well, yeah, Greg, I mean, you shouldn't have shown his personal info, but he has, you know, a certain degree of privacy, a right to privacy. But does he forfeit that right when he plasters his address and contact info directly into a public ad? If I post my phone number on Facebook and someone in turn posts it on Twitter, does that mean I can sue them? This is what we were threatened with, a lawsuit. But before you jump on the bandwagon, not over revealing his personal info on the Craigslist ad. There was nothing personal in his ad. This address that you see right here, 1920 Bluffton Road, which I will read in a video, that's what I'm doing right now, is not a home address. It won't lead you to a residential neighborhood or an apartment. It leads you to a commercial property operated by Grace Computers. Now look, I've got absolutely nothing against honest small businesses. I think they're vital to an economy like ours. I'm pro small business, if you will. I run a small business, as do many of my colleagues. This is our livelihood, and I'm blessed to be in a country where I can do this so just freely. But when another business threatens to sue mine for calling out a condescending ad on a public forum that contains public information you could pull from any mediocre search engine, I take it seriously and very personally. The owner of Grace Computers threatened Science Studio multiple times with lawsuits and cease and desist letters. I did announce this stuff in a video, I just talked about it briefly on Twitter. He demanded that we remove his, quote, intellectual property. Let me be clear, the World Intellectual Property Organization defines intellectual property as creations of the mind such as inventions, literacy, and artworks, designs, symbols, names, and images used in commerce. It technically includes his address, but it does not protect the address itself from being public. It just means that I can't build a computer and claim that it's being sold at Grace Computers, 1920 Bluffton Road. He has a right to sell his goods at his location. That's his intellectual property. His physical address, however, is not inherently intellectual property. Good luck with that one in court, dude. What this ultimately led to is a privacy complaint after he likely realized he couldn't actually sue us for anything viable. So he filed a privacy complaint a few days after the video aired. And in YouTube's case, privacy complaints must be filed by the person who believes he or she has had personal information involuntarily revealed online. This can be an image or voice, a full name, financial information, contact information, or other personally identifiable information. This is straight from Google. And that goes back to my point. None of this was personal information because the only info displayed in the ad and in our video was business information that he voluntarily contributed to the posting that I could look up at any given second on Google. YouTube agreed with us and overturned his privacy complaint a few days later. But now, this seems like he's pulling a Verge here. Several months later, we're hit with another privacy complaint, obviously by the same business since it's the only entity that qualifies, and containing the exact same timestamps listed in the first complaint, which was already overturned. I guess they're hoping YouTube changes their minds. And as of filming, YouTube hasn't responded, but based on precedent alone, this should go nowhere. So to end this one, I want to make very clear the fact that we do not take these threats lightly. And I think we handled this situation at the time the best we could. When the owner of Grace Computers threatened us multiple times on Facebook with lawsuits, you could argue that he even possibly harassed us, we responded with GIFs, or GIFs, however you want to say it. One was of Eric Cartman from South Park eating popcorn. That was it. And then we'd get another huge paragraph response from him. In other words, bring it on, dude. We'll see you in court. And if and when that day comes, we'll be ready. That's all I really want to say regarding the issue right now. I don't want to blow this out of proportion and act like it's equivalent to a copyright strike, because it's not. But being threatened with a lawsuit is a very serious threat. And again, we don't take that lightly. I think that we are well within our rights to do what we did. And on principle alone, I will not remove the information, not after being threatened, especially. The way that he handled the situation, I thought it was very unprofessional. And that said, we don't want any harassment. We don't want you to do anything to this business. I just want you to know this is what's happening with us behind the scenes and stuff you don't really see. But look, when we're going to be threatened with a lawsuit, when we're going to have illegitimate privacy complaints filed on videos, we're going to let you know who did it and what we're going to do about it in response. I think that's important, that we keep that stuff as public as possible without being, overbearing, because I think you guys have a right to know what's going on with the channel that you choose to contribute to, that you choose to watch. So with that, let us know what you think in the comments below. I appreciate it. Thumbs up if you like the video. I mean, whatever. And stay subscribed if you want to see more scientific content on the channel. This is one of those spin-offs where I just talk about something that's happening in real time, but this is a science channel, and I try my best to run as many tests as possible to entertain the masses. This is Science Studio. Thanks for watching, and thanks for learning with us.